We are taught how to perform in life, but not how to live. We get the syllabus for chemistry, the manual for the car, the blueprint for a career, but the blueprint for the human spirit? That's a lesson we're left to learn on our own, usually through pain and confusion. But what if the most important chapters of that manual weren't missing, just unwritten? What if we could articulate the wisdom that's only ever learned in the silence after a heartbreak, in the humility of a failure, or in the quiet acceptance of what we cannot change? Today, we're not going through a long list. We're going deep into the 7 core lessons that, once truly understood, can change the entire trajectory of your life. These are the lessons they forgot to tell you. Lesson 1. The goal isn't happiness, it's wholeness. From our first childhood stories, the goal is always happily ever after. We are conditioned to believe that happiness is a destination. If you just achieve this, buy that, or become this person, you'll arrive at a permanent state of joy. This is the most dangerous myth we are taught. The relentless pursuit of happiness doesn't lead to joy. It leads to a constant, nagging feeling of inadequacy. Because on any given day, you might feel anxious or sad or bored or filled with grief. And if happiness is the only acceptable state, then you're constantly failing. Here's the profound truth no one shares. The goal isn't to be happy. The goal is to be whole. Wholeness means making room for the entire spectrum of human emotion. It's allowing yourself to feel profound sadness without judging it. It's sitting with your anger long enough to understand what it's trying to protect. It's accepting that moments of boredom are necessary for creativity to bloom. Life's richness isn't in a single sustained high note of joy. It's in the entire symphony. When you stop chasing the fleeting ghost of happiness, you find something far more resilient and profound. Peace. Peace with your own complex, messy, and complete humanity. Lesson 2. Failure isn't your judge, it's your teacher. Our education system brands failure with a scarlet letter. A red F on a test paper tells you one thing: you are not good enough. We carry that fear into adulthood, becoming so terrified of failing that we stop trying new things. We stay in the job we don't love. We don't start the creative project. We don't take the healthy risk. We choose comfortable stagnation over the possibility of a spectacular failure. But the real world, the world of growth and innovation, runs on a different operating system. Here, failure isn't a final judgment. It is simply data. When your business idea fails, it's not a verdict on your worth. It's data telling you the market isn't ready or your approach was wrong. When a relationship ends, it's not a certificate of your unlovability. It's painful, yes, but it's also data about your needs, your boundaries, and your compatibility. The most successful, evolved people on this planet are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who reframe it. They decouple their ego from the outcome. They treat failure like a scientist. A failed experiment isn't a tragedy. It's a discovery. It's the data that tells you this path is a dead end. Try another. If you want to grow, you must learn to fail. And learn from the failure with grace, curiosity, and the courage to begin again with better information. Lesson 3. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is the foundation of connection. Never let them see you sweat. Keep a stiff upper lip. We are raised on a diet of emotional stoicism, taught that to be strong is to be invulnerable, impenetrable. We build walls around our hearts and wonder why we feel so alone. The lesson that takes a lifetime for many to learn is this: the armor we wear to protect ourselves also isolates us. True, meaningful human connection cannot be built on a foundation of perfection. It's built in the moments of courageous imperfection. It happens when one person has the courage to say, "I'm struggling with this," or "I was wrong," or "I'm scared." In that moment of vulnerability, they don't offer weakness. They offer a gift: trust. This isn't about oversharing or complaining. It's about strategic, authentic self-revelation. It's the superpower that allows people to see the real you and connect with that person, not the curated mask that you present to the world. Your curated perfection is impressive, but your vulnerability is what's relatable. It's what whispers to the other person, you're not alone in your struggles. And that is the deepest connection of all. Lesson 4. You cannot control life, but you can master your response. So much of our anxiety and suffering comes from a single futile desire, the desire for control. We want to control what others think of us. We want to control the outcome of our projects. We want to control the health and happiness of the people we love. We try to wrestle the universe into a shape that we find comfortable. And we are exhausted and broken by the attempt because it is impossible. Life is, by its very nature, unpredictable and wild. The life-altering lesson taught by Stoic philosophers thousands of years ago is this: your true power does not lie in controlling external events. It lies in mastering your internal response. The traffic jam doesn't make you angry. You choose anger in response to the traffic jam. A criticism doesn't ruin your day. You grant it the power to ruin your day. This is not about blame. It is about empowerment. In the space between what happens to you and how you react lies your freedom. You can't stop the waves of life from crashing against your boat, but you can learn to be an exceptional sailor. You can learn to be calm in the storm, to adjust your sails and to navigate with resilience and grace. That is where your ultimate strength is found. Lesson 5. It's never too late to author a new chapter. We are haunted by the idea of a timeline. By 30, you should be this. By 40, you should have that. We look at our past mistakes, our missed opportunities, and the path we've walked so far, and we think, well, I guess this is it. My story is written. This is the most tragic misconception of all. Your past is a chapter, not the entire book. You are the author, and at any moment, no matter your age, your bank account, or your past failures, you have the power to turn to a blank page and write a new beginning. You can learn the language at 55. You can start the business at 62. You can heal the old wound at 70. There is no cosmic deadline for your growth. The world may try to convince you that your time is up, but that is a story you do not have to buy into. The only thing required to start over is the courage to decide that your future is more important than your past. Don't let your history hold your potential hostage. Pick up the pen. A blank page is waiting. Lesson 6. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Our culture is addicted to intensity. We glorify the explosion, not the slow burn. We celebrate the overnight success, the crash diet, the all-night creative sprint. We want the earthquake that reshakes the landscape in an instant. But here's a lesson that is learned in the unglamorous, quiet grind of real progress. The earthquake is a myth. Real, sustainable, and monumental change is almost always the result of consistency. It's less dramatic, but infinitely more powerful. Intensity is sprinting for 1 mile and then collapsing. Consistency is walking 3 miles every single day, forever. One gets you a moment of glory and a month of recovery. The other gets you across the country. Think of it this way. You can't go to the gym for 9 hours on a Sunday and expect to be fit for the week. Your body doesn't work that way, and neither does your life, your career, or your skills. The power is in the small, boring, repeatable actions. The 1 page you write each day becomes a novel. The $10 you save from each paycheck becomes a safety net. The 5 minutes of meditation you do every morning becomes a bedrock of calm. Don't chase the firework. Become the slow drip of water that carves a canyon. That is how mountains are moved. Lesson 7. Listen to understand, not to respond. This next lesson can single-handedly transform every relationship you have. We are taught how to speak, how to argue, how to debate, but we are almost never taught how to truly listen. And most of us don't. We really don't. In a conversation, we're often just waiting for the other person to finish, to take a breath so we can jump in. We're formulating our rebuttal, our anecdote, our piece of advice. We are listening to respond, not to understand. True listening is a radical act. It is the conscious decision to silence your own inner monologue and create a space of pure reception for another person's reality. It is not passive. It is an incredibly active form of presence. When you listen to understand, you are not focused on what you are going to say next. You are focused on the meaning behind their words, the emotion in their tone, and the things they are not saying. Often people don't need your solutions. They don't need you to fix it. They just need to feel heard. They need the validation of having their experience received by another human being without judgment. To give someone your undivided, agenda-free attention is one of the most profound gifts you can offer. It's the quietest, most powerful way to say, you matter. And it's the antidote to the epidemic of loneliness that defines so much of modern life. Wholeness, not happiness. Failure as a teacher. Vulnerability as a strength. Mastering your response. Authoring a new chapter. The silent power of consistency, and the radical act of truly listening. These aren't just nice ideas. They are foundational shifts in how we live. They are the keys to moving from a life of frantic performance to one of profound presence. They are the lessons that no one ever formally teaches, but that life eventually demands we learn. My hope is that today, hearing them articulated has given you a shortcut on that journey. In the comments, I'd be honored if you would share which of these 7 lessons you are currently working on in your own life. Let's make this a space for collective wisdom. Thank you for your time and your attention. Live well.